Hey everybody, this is my friend DeAndre Long. DeAndre has a horrifying story to tell uh, that everyone needs to know about and listen to. And as I do that now, when you're watching live, I'm going to make absolutely certain that I put this and as I do that and freeze that and make sure that this is tweeted out. I already put it on Facebook, and now it's on Twitter and every place else. But what matters the most is that we have Mr. Long. Mr. Long, welcome.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Hey, Mr. Long,
Mhm.
tell my viewers as best you can, uh, and take your time, what happened to you.
Well, on July 19th, I was driving down the street, um, had one of the young men that I mentor on the telephone, on the speaker phone in the car. We were talking, and I was heading home from Berkeley area, um, just driving and talking and talking about what we're going to do for the evening, what have you, and some upcoming stuff. Driving, got to middle left, went towards Hollis Street to Starbucks, made a right on Hollis. Driving down Hollis, and I'm talking to him, and I see a police car coming in my direction. And I tell the young man I'm on the phone with, oh, this police coming this way. And then as we passed each other, he turned and he looked at me. It's kind of sly, like, And as we passed each other, I told the young man on the phone, I said, this police is getting ready to follow me. I don't know why. Something in my spirit just said, he's getting ready to follow you. So I'm looking in my rearview mirror behind me. He goes further down. He makes a U-turn. He comes back in my direction. I said, yep. I said, he coming this way. I don't know why I thought he was coming after me. He's coming this way. For some reason, I just felt he was coming. So I'm driving. I'm watching him. He's trying to stay like 4 cars, maybe still behind. And I see him. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, God, what's going on here? So I said, I know what I'm going to do. I knew there was a gas station coming up on Stanford. I said, I'm going to go and act like I'm going to go get some gas to see, make sure to see if he's really coming to follow me, if he's coming for me. And all the while, the young one that I'm talking to is still on the phone. He hears everything. So I get to Stanford. I make the right turn, go to the gas station, pull up to the pump, open the door, get out. I made maybe like 2 steps. He had pulled in. Stop where you are. Pull this gun out. Stop. Don't move. Whatever. I looked. I'm like, what's going on? By this time, another car pull up in the opposite direction. So now I'm like, no way. I'm not going to run anyway. Period, because I haven't done nothing wrong, so there's no reason for me to run. So they block me in. The next thing I know, police are just coming, gun strong, coming.
Jeez.
Freeze, don't move. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm stuck. I'm paralyzed. I'm like, out of nowhere, why do I have all these guns pointed at me? I'm like terrified. What is going on? I'm stuck. Put your hands, don't move, don't move, put your hands up, all that. But I'm kind of sort of in my head, like, not hearing it, but hearing it. Come in, handcuff me, place me in the back of the unit. I'm By this time I'm crying. I'm a big crybaby. What's going on? What is happening? What's going on? What's going on? Put me in the back seat of the police car. And next thing I'm watching out the back seat of the police car. Police are just going back and forth talking to each other. It's frantic. Like, oh, we got our guy. I'm like, what is going on all the time? I'm yelling from the car. What's going on? What's going on? What is happening? I'm like, oh God, no, I'm talking to myself because I'm like, what is going on? Oh, it's like pandemonium. So finally, one officer does come and talk to me, and I said, well, what's going on? And he said, well, it was so many Come on. Thrown at me at one time. He first said there was a warrant out for my car. There was a warrant out for my car, or there was a warrant out for me, or either or, because somehow how they found me or got track of me was it was supposed to be a facial recognition. Oh, one of our cameras picked up your face. Picked up my face. Okay, picked up my face for what? And then there's a warrant out on your car. Okay, I'm sitting in the back of the police car. My car's right there. You guys haven't touched the car, haven't searched it, did nothing to the car. The car is sitting right there. If you have a warrant out for it, there it is.
Well,
Why aren't everybody's
a quick question. They said they had you on facial recognition.
facial recognition? They said that's how they picked me up.
I found this on the web. They said they had you on facial recognition.
Did they have you? Is this during the day or night?
Yes, it was broad daylight. It was daytime.
Huh.
It was daytime.
But you were behind a windshield.
I was behind the car. I was driving the car, and I knew that was facial recognition. How he got? How he? Come on, man. He said that it picked me up by facial recognition. No, it didn't. And then you said there was a warrant out for my car, and we're trying to figure out why.
And this was the Alameda County Sheriff's?
Huh?
The Alameda County Sheriff's?
No, this is the Oakland Police.
Oakland Police.
Yeah. And there's a warrant out for your car. I said, a warrant out for my car? You know, what do you mean? Well, warrant out for what? Well, that's what we're trying to find out. You know, maybe we're trying to contact the bank, what have you, that gave you the loan for the car. I said, well, no. I said, my car is paid for. And the place where I bought it from, he shut down. He's no longer in business. So I know they didn't have you call in for no warrant for this car. So then they go off again. I'm in the back of the police car, and then now they're just standing around like they're at the convention.
Well,
I'm like, what's going on?
This happened this year. This happened this year.
Standing around. I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? And
DeAndre, real quick.
Uh-huh.
This happened this year, right?
Yes.
Are you aware that the Oakland City Council in 2019 banned the use of facial recognition technology?
No.
Yeah, it's right here in search. I found it. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know anything about that. They said that the facial recognition. That's how they should have been. It says they picked me up from the facial recognition. That's what he said. The facial recognition.
It says it right here. Oakland bans use of facial recognition technology, citing bias concerns. That was written by Sarah Ravani, who I'm acquainted with, July 15th, 2019. So already we've identified something that was done to you illegally. Keep going.
Yeah. And then, okay, that's how they supposedly identified me and knew that it was me. And then, like I said, they had me in the back of the police car waiting, and they said there was a warrant out for my car. Not me, my car. Okay, well, there it is. You're not searching it, you're not touching it, you're not doing nothing to it. It's sitting right there. If you have a warrant out for it, why you're not touching it? So I'm sitting there, like I said again, now at this point they're standing around, and I started noticing that they started leaving. And you know, they're drifting off, and the numbers are getting low. I'm like, okay, finally, I'm left with the two officers whose car I was in, and he comes to the back of the police car, open it up, and yeah, come on, Mr. Long, get out or whatever, get out the car. And I'm like, well, what's going on? What's going on? He said, you want to go home, don't you? I said, what? You want to go home? I said, yeah. I said, you mean you let me go? After all this, I just knew I was going somewhere for some questioning or something. Y'all done came and put all these guns on me and froze me in the spot. And I just knew, I'm thinking to myself, I got to go down here and because I misidentified me or think I'm somebody else. So I said, well, what's going on? What's going on? He tells me, one of the officers tell me that there was a report put out on your car that your car was involved in several crimes in Oakland. I'm asking, who would do that to me? who would say, who would do that? I'm like out of my mind. I'm like, who would do that to me? I don't have no problem with nobody. Why would somebody do that to me? Report my car? Who would do that to me? I'm baffled. Like, who would do that to me? I'm standing there, and he asked me, "Well, do you have any beef with anybody?" Beef? Man, I don't have no beef with nobody. I have beef with the devil. That's the only beef I got. So he's but that's what it is. I said, so that's it. Yeah, you're free to go. I'm free to go. Yeah. I proceed to leave to take 1 foot, and an officer from where I couldn't see stepped in with the camera and said, "Hold up, let me get his picture." Get the picture. Came around, told me to hold my arm up, took a picture of my tattoos on my left arm. I thought, okay, that's kind of weird, but I was just happy to be going home. I was just happy to be away
Sure.
from them. Period. So whatever. You can have this picture. You can have 3 more if you want. So I get in the car, and I'm like, no. Before I get in the car, I said, I can go. He said, wait a minute. Let me pull your name so you down so they were off the lookout, so you won't have to go through this again, and put it off. So he made, I guess, a phone call or a CB call or whatever he did. I don't know what he did, and said, okay, go.
You can
Strike
go.
that. Go. So I sit in the car, and I'm like, y'all gonna leave before I leave because I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. I'm thinking this got to be some kind of setup. I know when I pull out of this driveway, they finna come back here and kill me, because I know they just. And I stood there, and I sat there, and I sat there, and then finally I had got the courage up to leave. I left. Don't think no more about it. It's out the corner of my mind. Okay, it happened. I didn't tell a whole bunch of people. I went to church and testified about it, and how good God is that they didn't kill me because I didn't know what to do. So I thank God that I just walked away with my life. I didn't care about nothing else. I didn't care about going and complaining about it or nothing else. I was just thankful for my life. I forget about it. It's out my mind. Then on the 29th, I think it was 2 weeks later, I'm upstairs in the house with my mom. What have you? She just got out the hospital recently. Whatever I had some medications of hers in my trunk, and I think it was something else. And I was just walking around the house. I had on some flip flops, basketball shorts, t-shirt, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going down to the trunk to go and get my stuff out of the car and get your medicine out of the trunk." She said, "Okay." I go downstairs to the trunk of my car, which is parked right in front. And you come down the stairs right there in front in the yard. And so I get down there to the trunk of my car. I open my trunk, and I'm digging. I'm in there no longer, not even a minute or so, or whatever. Next thing I know, a car just come up, swoop real quick. Wow. Quiet. First thing I thought was somebody was getting ready to rob me. I'm like, because I have things from my business in my trunk, some of my items and stuff, because I'd be putting it together when I'm at my mom's house. So I had a lot of stuff from my business in my trunk, and I go back and forth when I'm here. And I'm like, somebody that seen me going back and forth to my trunk and know that I have something in here and getting ready to come rob me. That's the first thing that I thought, because the way that they did it, it was so quick. It came up and parked, didn't stop in the middle of the street. They came up, swooped right, and did a park. As like, so you couldn't see him down the street or anything like that. It was real smooth. So I'm turning around. I'm like, my heart dropped. I'm like, what's going on? You're under arrest. Hands behind my back. I'm like, what do y'all want now? Why do y'all keep bothering me? I'm like, what is it now? What do you want? I'm tired. Okay, you had me before and with guns to my head and all that, and let me go. Talk about some kind of mistake, and now here you are again. I'm like, okay, but look, okay, but could you at least give the keys to my mom and go there, let them know that you're taking me to jail or wherever you're taking me to, so somebody will know where I am. By this time, I had noticed there was another car that had pulled up on the sidewalk. That they didn't think I saw him, but I did see him. And I think he asked him, could he take my keys up? And he must have let his mom know, somebody there. Well, they told him no. He took locked my car, took my keys, put them in my pocket, turned my cell phone off and said, "Oh, this is so you'll have enough juice or power, and so when we let you go, so you can call somebody." And put it in my pocket, put me in the police car, and took me downtown to the police station to the investigators. So my mom, nobody know where I'm at. They're looking for me. Where is he at? He was just here. That's great. Now, yeah, tumbler top sitting on the top of my car, and I'm just disappeared. It was just like a movie, gone out of nowhere. So I'm like, I need to know where I'm at. So I get downtown. They take me up to the police station. I'm handcuffed, walking in the building. I go upstairs. I turn the corner. First thing I saw was a sign said homicide. I'm like, oh Lord, they got me in here thinking I done killed somebody. I'm like, oh no. So they take me into the investigating room. Take me out. One of the handcuffs, handcuffed me to the table, and I'm like, this is what is going on again? Me, I'm spooked. I'm crying. What's going on? Two investigators come in. Okay, we're so and so, what have you? First of all, let me read you your rights or whatever, because I have to do that. You have a right to remain silent. Yada 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 yada, all that, just like that. Yada yada yada. So whatever. I'm like, what's going on here? Well, we hear about a robbery, a theft. I'm like, whew, Lord, thank you. Thank you for what? Because I know I ain't done no robbery. I've not, first of all, done nothing. So, whatever it is, what a robbery, a theft, I said robbery, a theft of what? And I think he said a bike. I said, a bike. And he said, you can think back. He said, this supposed to happen July 7th. I said, July 7th. I thought back at we're now on July 29th. I'm thinking, okay, July 4th, we barbecued in the front yard. I'm trying to think about it. He said, yeah, think about it. I'm like, oh, no. He slides a picture of my car driving off. And I know the area where it's at by where I used to live. So I said, he said, is that your car? I'm looking at it for a minute. I'm like, yeah. I said, yeah, that's my car. I said, but it sure looked good on camera. I'm joking. I'm like, because it's shining. I must have went to the car wash that day. I said, my car looked good on picture. So he said, he said, so nothing draws you about that. It's on 16th floor. I said, it's not uncommon for me to be in that area because I just moved from over there where I stayed for 4 to 5 years. I said, so it's not uncommon for my car to be in that area. And my mechanic is over there, what have you, which is where I was going. But I'll get to that. My mechanic is over there. So then he slides another picture of a partial arm of my tattoo standing up against what was the wall, which will be coming up. I'll let you know. A partial picture of my tattoo on my arm. I said, okay, yeah, that's my tattoo. What do they have to do with this robbery?
Right.
That's what do I have that all to do with? Okay, now you got that. Now you trying to. Now I'm nervous because you got this. And you just showed me that, and you talk about a robbery. So now I'm nervous. Okay, well, what's going on here? Then he slides another picture of a guy, a Hispanic guy, and I said, "Oh, that's what this is about." So rewind. July 7th. Cameron and I were on our way to go see my mechanic, which he stays over on 60th and Lowell in the homeless encampment where, there's a couple of mobile homes or wherever they go. That's where they at. They go, get high and, that's where they hang, do their thing. But that's where my mechanic is at. And he's very good. So, and very reasonable. But he was over there. I was going over there to go and talk to him because he had just recently fixed my car and the axle or something like that. I don't know nothing about cars, but he had just recently fixed it and my power steering went out and my horn went out. So I was like, oh, I need my power steering. I said, I got to have my horn. I love my horn. So we're going over there to go and see him. We're coming down Market Street and we get to left at Stanford at the ASA, the liquor store. We make a left. We're going towards 60th and Low. We heading that way. As we approach and get there, we look over and we see a Hispanic guy on a bike on the other side of the street. He was belligerent, high, cussing somebody out and doing something to them and just causing a bunch of ruckus, stopping traffic, doing everything. And we being nosy, we like, oh, look, so we done sat there and, we watching, we looking. And he's making his way somewhat towards us, toward the car. He's trampling and he's looking for anybody that wanted. Anybody that wanted can get it. Anybody that wanted. He just after everybody. So he zooms in and focuses on my car. He throws something at my car. Me and him have words. We change back and forth. I cuss him back, cuss him out, or we keep cussing back at me. I'm not gonna lie. I said some stuff I shouldn't have said that later on I had to repent about. But so that happened. I go up the street and turn around to come back around to continue to see my mechanic, not knowing that he was on his way over there to the other mobile home to go do his thing, to go get high. There ain't no do your thing. He was going to get high. So as I was approaching, he was too, and he assumed, I guess, that I was coming over there to get with him or to respond with that. But no, I was going to go see my mechanic. So he automatically zooms in and automatically, okay, come up, approach me, square off and whatever. And then he spits on me and he hits me. He spits on me. And I matched his energy. What else is a man to do? That's the worst thing you can do to a human being is spit on them. And you out here on drugs, doing whatever it is that you're doing. And then we just had all this COVID and everything else going on. And you gonna spit, he spit on me. Spit on me? Come on. Who in their right mind is not going to defend himself? And then you would physically follow up.
Although under the circumstances, you said who? I would never associate with anybody to the point of even getting into an altercation with them, because that person's already at 5150, they're homeless, they're at an encampment. And then if I do that, then it means that the legal arrow shifts to me if I get into an altercation with them. So I am not going to do, I don't care, that person spits at me, great. Guess what? I got an assault charge against them. Okay? That's how you have to think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I honestly, and my mechanic, like I said, that's where my mechanic was at. I had no idea. I didn't know this man from a can of paint. I really had never seen him before or anything. Had no problem with this man. I really didn't. Don't know him. So, like I said, I wasn't paying attention to him. That wasn't my focus. That was my goal. I was going to go talk to my mechanic. I didn't ask for none of that. So, but I'm not, you can't arrest.
That's no grounds to arrest you though.
But they didn't arrest me that day. So what happened was, it was a physical altercation. I defended myself.
Yep.
I did what a man was supposed to do. He continued even after it was done. And let's keep in mind, I'm 5'8". I weigh 153 pounds. This dude is like over 6 feet tall, 200 something pounds. He's way bigger than me. And he's coming at me, and then he's reaching in his pocket and he's taunting me and flinching and coming up on me and pushing his shoulder on. I mean, I'm little dude. What? Come on now. And you continually. Come on. I was the victim. So anyway, it was done, and they pulled us apart, and people started coming out. Everybody was coming out and telling him, don't you hit him. And they know that because I come over there and feed. That's what I'm known for. I come down there with good plates. They know that's the man with the good food. So it ended. I didn't think no more of it. I'm talking to my mechanic, letting him know, look here, my power steering is out. I need my horn fixed or what have you. It would, when you gonna hook me up, basically, this clown. So he had his phone and he's taking pictures, obviously. And everybody starts saying, take his phone. I'm like, I don't want his phone. Take his phone for what? I don't want nothing that man has. I don't want his phone. He spit on me. He hit me. I showed him that I'm not the one. And that's it. That's all. Nothing more. I don't want his phone. He can keep his phone. I don't want it. I leave. So he was taking pictures of my phone. Fast then comes into July 19th. So he calls the police and told them that I robbed him, obviously. That I robbed him. So that's why they came looking for me on the 19th. because I jumped on him, stole his bike.
In self-defense.
But I robbed him and stole his bike. I beat him up, robbed him, and stole his bike.
You're saying that's what they said you did, but you really didn't do that.
Yeah, no, I didn't. That's what they said. I beat him up, that robbed him for his bike, and just drove off into the sunset.
For his bike?
For his bike.
Where'd they come up with a bike?
His bike that pedals. It pedals.
Did you
I
run
didn't
him?
even know they made those anymore. A bike that pedals that I can't even ride. I have a condition that won't even allow me to ride a bike right now, even if I wanted to. I can barely wear decent shoes. I wore some decent shoes the other day in court just because I wanted to look nice, and my feet were killing me. I can't even ride a bike if I wanted to. Why am I gonna steal his bike? And where did the bike go? How did I ride off on the bike? How did I where? How? And I had someone in the car with me who was 6 feet something tall, and when he's in the car, he has to push the seat all the way to the back because his feet are too long. Because I drive a Lexus IS 250 2013. The dimensions of that won't allow you to even put a bike in there, yet alone me, somebody over 6 feet tall, and a bike.
So someone
where's the bike?
Manufactured the story, and I'm saying that's what they did. They had to manufacture a story in order to fill in blanks, and the story they manufactured was not only wrong; it was based on illegality to begin with in terms of how they accosted you, claiming facial recognition. I mean,
and then the thing is that so when I on fast forward on the 29th, when they came and got me and arrested me and took me downtown, I told the investigators the truth. What happened? This guy, that's what this is about. Oh, I'm told them, let me tell you what happened. And I told them the truth. This is what happened. And I told him, I said, and you know what? I said, I'm gonna tell you something that I didn't tell nobody. I didn't even tell my family. I said later on that night, I went home and I cried. It hurt my feelings that I had to get into a fight, that I had to do, because that's not me. That's not me. I really was. My feelings was hurt that I actually had gotten into an altercation with somebody for having to defend myself. I told them that. I looked at them and then one of them, after he told me, well, we see here, and I can see here, looking at things you've done in the past, that you've been good, you've been clean, you've been staying out of trouble, you haven't had none, you got good things going on for yourself. Don't let this deter you from what you're doing. Because actually, I believe you. Okay, so all right, oh good, cool. Yeah, and that's why it's good to get two sides of the story, and we're going to take this up, to the DA, because she wants, that sent us out here, to take care of this and check into it. We're going to take this back to her, whatever, and hopefully, this usually be misunderstanding, but unfortunately, you still have to go to Santa Rita.
What?
I'm like, oh my God, what do you mean? I'm like, no, I'm like, please don't send me back there. I'm like, man, I cannot go back there. Don't send me back there, please. I said, I can't go. No, well, it's too late. The warrant is already out or whatever. You have to go, I'm like, well, how long am I have to stay there? Well, you may have to stay, a couple of days. Maybe you'll go to court Thursday, morning or so, or something like that or whatever. I'm like, oh God, but don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. They leave out. Officers come swoop me up, take me straight to Santa Rita. At this time again, nobody knows where I'm at. My family, nobody knows where I am. So I'm thinking, how am I going to let them know where I am? I get there, I'm like, y'all waiting here, huh? Got my little wristband and stuff, just waiting. But so they asked me the questions, do are you allergic to any medications and stuff and all that? Do you have any illness? I told them, I said, yeah. First of all, I let them know about my rheumatoid, my neuropathy, whatever they haven't really diagnosed it, but it's just so bad. One time it seemed like gout, next time it seemed like neuropathy, next time it's something else. But I said, and she asked me, do you take any medications? I said, yes, I take a long list of them. I said, but I don't know what they are. I said, but if you call my mom, she'll tell you. That was going to be my way of letting them know where I was. So I said, call my mother. What's her phone number? I gave her the phone number. I said, if you call her, let her know, and she'll tell you all where all the medicines that I take. Didn't call her. They proceeded to throw me into the cell, take me to the holding cell, which, by the way, was like 20 below, freezing. And with my condition, the longer I stayed in there, the more and more and more in pain I felt. My legs and feet felt like the size of elephants because it was so cold in there. And I was in pain. Nobody came to ask me for my medication, nothing, nothing. They asked me if I wanted a lunch, which I told them, no, I don't want that. I don't know. I want to get out of here because I don't belong here. I should not even be here. So I'm in a holding cell, and I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to get out of here? How am I going to get out of here? I had to call my mom. So I'm trying to call collect to my mom and call my brother, calling people. But if you don't have now that I know the card or something program where you have money for they can call, can't make a collect call. So I look up at the bail bondsman's board, and I'm like, man.
So did they offer you a public attorney or anything?
No, they took me to jail. They put me in a holding cell. I'm in a holding cell at this time.
So you had no representation. You had no ability to contact the public defender. There was no public defender that contacted you. There's nobody, no legal representation at all.
No, not at this point. None.
There should have been from the start.
Yeah, there was no.
You have the right to an attorney the minute they talk to you, and they have a right to an attorney, and if you don't have one will be provided for you. So you're walking out there dealing with all these folks, these sharks, who are just using you to make money in the system. It's another black man that they're using to be part of the soup because it's what they're psychologically used to. It's racism, even among those who are part of who are black, and they don't care. And the ones who are part of who are black think, oh, well, I'm lucky because I'm a police officer. I mean, the thinking that goes on here is of itself should be considered criminal. I mean, for example, we talked about defunding the police, but this all started because of the murder of George Floyd by Derek Chauvin, a police officer. So I thought the whole thing was going to be, hey, stop killing black men. Instead, we and those who thought, hey, stop killing black men should be the mantra, allowed that to get taken over by defund the police by people basically who are mostly white. I'm just saying straight out because that's what happened. And so we people are harmed. This defund stuff happens. We have no significant police reform, none. And we don't have anybody saying, hey, stop harassing black men.
I don't understand. And then, so because that's the way where there's more. Because, like I said, I looked and I took a gamble and I said, okay, well, let me call this bail bondsman. I call him and I explain to him my situation, and I call him my angel. His name is David. I call him my angel because, man, if he wouldn't have called my mother for me, I don't know what would have happened to me if he wouldn't have called my mother. I called him, and I was just happy because I was like, "This is finally somebody like believe me." And he called my mother. He said, "I'm gonna call your mother on a three-way," and he called her. And I told her where I was at, that they was in it. She's trying to say that I robbed somebody. And she was like, what? I'm like, yeah. And I said, Mama, please get me out of here. Please get me out of here. I said, I ain't gonna make it in here. I ain't gonna make it in here. I'm not gonna make it. And so she said, okay, well, how much is the bill? Well, I said, I don't know. And then so David said, well, we don't know yet. He said, because his name haven't come up in the system yet. And his name has to come up in the systems before I can know what he's charged with or how much the bill is, anything like that. So he said, DeAndre, he said, wait, call me back in 30 minutes. He said, I'll just keep checking or whatever and see when it pops up in the system, then I'll, we'll know, you know. And he told me, just hang tight. Just call me back every 30 minutes. And when it pop up, then I'll be able to do something. He said, but I can't do nothing until your name come up in the system. So I'm calling back every 30 minutes. Calling back every 30 minutes. And he said, no, nothing yet. He called me back. Then finally I called him the last time for 30 minutes. And he was looking at, he said, no, it ain't came up yet. And he was scrolling. He said, oh, there it is right there. He said, okay, okay. All right, I'm coming here. I'm coming to get you. Hang tight. I'm going to go. He said, hang on. All right, here it is. I found out. Okay, I'm take care of it. You're all right. Relax. I was like, oh, thank God, So he said, call me back in 30 minutes. I'm going to go and get the money and post the bill or whatever. When you call me back, I'll let you know that everything should be all right. So I called him back. When I finally called him back, he said, all right, I took care of it. All right, I just posted you. You good. You can ready to get out. He was like, you go home and get some rest. Hey, get some rest. Rest your mind and stuff and just give me a call tomorrow. He was like, you'll be all right. But I'm not. So I'm standing now. I'm getting ready to get out. The deputy comes to the holding cell, calls my name and says, okay, you're next to take me out to my cell. They had me housed. I was on my way out there. I was housed. And another angel stepped up from the end of the hallway and said, hold up. I'm processing him right now. He's getting bailed out. And so he said, okay, you can go back. And then he turned and looked at me. He said, you're lucky. I said, I'm lucky. And didn't think no more about it. A few minutes later, he leaves. He comes back, opens up the door and tells me, okay, come on out. Since you're getting bailed out, I'm going to take you around to the warm room. Yeah, he took me around the corner. I walked up in there. I said, y'all dirty. I walked around that corner. It was like walking into heaven. Ooh, hallelujah. Room was painted nice and toasty and warm. I said, y'all been holding on to this room all this time, and you got us around here cold, freezing, and this warm room is right here with nobody in it. Y'all cold. I had forgot all about the cold room because I was in the warm room. So when I left, by the time my mom came and picked me up, I was just so happy to go. I forgot all about they had put me in that cold room till I thought about it. I'm like, oh, Santa Rita is cold. They cold. They got that cold room, and then they got a warm room. So when they release me, they tell me you have court Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. Make sure you're there, because if you're not there, they're going to revoke your bail and you'll be back in jail. Well, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. So Thursday morning come, I get up, I put on my good suit. I'm smelling good. I'm like, oh, because I know I'm getting ready to go in here and they getting ready to drop these charges because this is absurd. Me, robbery. So I go in there and to the clerk and tell her, I go in there looking. I don't see my name on nobody's docket. So I'm running around frantic. Everybody looking at me like, what's wrong with this dude? I'm like, I'm supposed to be in court this morning. Somebody tell me where I'm supposed to be. I don't. They say, well, go to the clerk over here. So I went over to the clerk and is standing in line waiting. And there are other people in front of me that obviously had either missed court or were late or something like that. And I'm noticing that they're getting something called an acknowledgement form or something. So I'm like, well, they must gonna give me one of those or something like that. So I go up to the window and tell her I'm supposed to be in court this morning. Give her my name, give her my information. She texts on her computer, and I don't see nothing. No, okay, but 1 minute. She goes in the back, comes back. This is strange. Hold up 1 minute. Goes in the back. This time she stayed a little bit longer. Comes back, bear with me. I go, my computer's a little slow, so and so, what have you. I'm like, okay, sure. So she pecks again a little bit, looks, goes to the back room, come back. I see she has a piece of paper in her hand. So she said, well, you don't have, I don't see you on the docket for court this morning. Pardon me? I'm off.
Hey, I gotta get my mom an inhaler. Okay, hold on one second. All right, hold on. All right. Be right there. Okay, be right there. Hold on. Just gotta get her. You say a prayer with me?
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord,
Okay.
please protect DeAndre and protect him from those who have used him to make him part of the law enforcement system. And dear Lord, please remove him from their environment and please have them expunge and dismiss his case as soon as possible. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. All right. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Just hey, it's the job of a caregiver, man. You know.
Yeah. I understand. I yeah, I understand completely.
Now, you said that at this point you were inside of here being released, went to this
Yeah.
warm cold room, and we're just getting ready to get out. And go ahead, please.
I was on the day of when I went to court. My first court date, which was the first, which was supposed to be my first court date. And I told you I was running around frantic trying to figure out where I was supposed to be. And finally, I was at the clerk's uh, office, and she was going back and forth trying to figure out what was going on. Finally, she walks out with a piece of paper in her hand, and she tells me, "Well, you're not on the docket for this morning, but you do have court Monday morning on the 5th for the recall of a bench warrant." I said, "Recall of a bench warrant?" She, yeah. I'm like, "What do you mean with recall? I had no court date or anything like that. What are you talking about? A recall of a bench warrant?" So she said, "I don't know. We'll go down to the DA's office. Maybe they can tell you more." So she said, "It's right down the hall." I walked down the hall, go to the DA's office, wait my time in line, get to the window. Pastor thing. I said, "What is I'm supposed to have court this morning, and I don't know. Can somebody tell me what's going on? And please tell me what this paper is about the recall on a bench warrant. I don't know nothing about no bench warrant. I just was just released out of Santa Rita. I'm out on a bond right now on a $50,000 bond, so I don't know nothing about no bench warrant or whatever." So she goes in the back, comes back, slides the paper back to me, say, "All I know is you have court Monday morning for recall. Go to the public defender's office. Maybe they can tell you something."
Yeah, I thought recall sometimes means they're going to withdraw it.
Yeah. And that's what we're saying. But withdraw from what? What bench warrant? Withdraw why? I didn't know it was a warrant, period, from the gate. What
Right.
warrant? Why was there? Should it be any recall on anything on any kind of warrant? When I didn't know nothing about the warrant. A bench warrant is when you fail to appear, right?
Well, a bench warrant is, but recall of bench warrant means it's called back. I mean, it should mean it's taken off. What happened?
Okay. So I go to the public defender's office, and she tells me, I talked to the clerk at the window and explained to her what was going on. She said, "Well, we don't see anybody around this during the morning time." She said, "But you need to come back here between 2 and 4." She said, "Because you need to talk to somebody live." She said, "Because something's not right going on right about this." She said, "So you need to come back here and talk to somebody live between 2 and 4. I said, "Okay, I sure will do that." So I left and went out and ran some errands, did some things or whatever. And by the time I said, "Okay, well, let me go back down here and make my way down here." I went down there, made it maybe around 3:30 or something, right before they were getting ready to close, and tell them who I was. I was there. Said, "It's okay, somebody be down to talk to you." So finally guy comes out, call my name, he calls me in there. He said, introduce himself. I told him who I was. He said, "Okay, well, I'm not your public defender. I'm not," he said, "I'm not assigned to you. I'm not your, but I'm just, down here since you came, somebody that you can talk to, what have you." He said, "So, tell me what's going on with you. So we sat down, I explained to him what was going on, with me, what have you, with everything. He said, "Well, it seems like the paperwork just got to my table just now." He said, "It just got here." He said, "And it seems as though they've added another charge." I'm like, "Added another charge?" Then that by this time they've added an assault onto the robbery. Assault. Oh, so y'all took what I told y'all about the fight that we had and went upstairs or did whatever you went and switched it and turned it around and made it into an assault to put onto the robbery to make it look good. I'm like, wow. Oh my God. Robbery and an assault now? You mean tell me they're not only are they not dropping it, but they've added on another charge? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm just bewildered now. I've figured out now what has been done to me. Now I realize it only takes a dummy to not figure it out. Now I realize what they done to me. They done turned my words around to me up in here. My truth, the truth. And somehow turned it into an assault. Me on him. So Monday morning on the 5th, when I go to court for the recall, I'm getting arraigned, I guess, too, for what I was supposed to go to court for on Thursday. I'm like, I thought I was here for a recall. Bench recall on the bench. How this get slid in with it? Then they just the bench warrant. Oh, that was for the first recall, the first warrant. This is for I'm like, the first warrant. How many warrants have y'all had out on me? What's been going on? All these warrants and stuff been put out, and all this stuff going on. I don't know nothing. I got bench warrants and everything else, and failure appears, and I don't know nothing about none of this stuff. So that's when, by this time now, between me leaving the public defenders and going to court on that morning, I'm thinking it's only robbery and assault. When the public defender that day, who they had come and talk to me, came outside and pulled us outside and opened up the file, that's when he opened up and it was all the stuff back to 1989. And he was talking about enhancements and strikes and this and that. My head was spinning. I'm like, oh, wait. First of all, where did all this come from? Where all this come from?
You have no representation here.
None. He's supposed to be just the person, I guess. He wasn't not assigned to me because he said, "Oh, well, I'm not the one that's going to, that has your case or what have you. It's going to be Mike King or somebody. He's pretty cool, something like that." But I'm tripping on the fact that how did I get from someone assaulting me defending myself, then being pulled over later with all these guns to my head, only to be let go and said, "Oh, it's all right. You okay?" So I'm relaxed and let my guard down. Then to later on come downstairs and basically get kidnapped. That's what it was to me. You kidnapped me. You couldn't go upstairs and tell nobody where I was. You didn't want nobody to know where I was. You put my key in my pocket, turn my phone off, so the locator is not on, so nobody won't know where I am. Set a bill on me that you thought I couldn't post. How did we get from there to me coming to court, not being on the court docket, then coming to here, and now I'm possibly facing 25 to life behind a bike that I didn't steal, that I told you I know who took the bike. Everybody know who took the bike. If you would have asked the witnesses, they would have told you who took the bike. So I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Here I am now. My life is in limbo. I'm really looking at you guys striking me out behind something that I did. You brought up something over 30 years ago.
What happened 30 years ago?
Okay.
30 years ago? What's the statute of
It
limitations?
actually it went, but she went. It's dated back as far as 1989, which is over 35 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I was 19 years old.
It was something you were arrested for, though?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this is. Yeah, give me a minute.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking if you're arrested for that 19 years ago, that's adjudicated. They've already done with that. Why do you want to bring it back?
But it's a reason why, and I need everybody to know this. And
Okay.
this is very, very important. And some of my family is watching this right now, and some of them not even aware of what I'm about to share. So when I was a teen, younger, I had a younger brother. His name was Torrance. So he was ran over by a car, but not just any car. He was ran over by an Oakland police officer
Oh
when
my
he
God.
was when he was roller skating going to the store. And I was me and my stepbrother. I was the oldest. I was the one in charge. I was, I felt in charge. And he asked could he go to the store. And we were so busy doing what we was doing that we said, yeah. I said, yeah, go ahead, go. But I didn't realize, I didn't know that he was putting on his skates. So he put on his skates and he was going to the store and he was attempted to cross the street. And that's when he got hit by the police car. So we hear sirens and stuff. And my stepbrother said, I'm going to go see what it is. So he runs out the house and then he comes back minutes later with his mouth wide open, his eyes but open. I'm like, what? He like, Torrance just got hit by a car. And I'm like, what? So I took off, sit down to go see see my brother. And then by the time I got there, they was taking him off in the ambulance. So I had to get there in time. And then, but finally, so my grandfather came and picked us up and took us to the hospital where everybody was, and everybody was there. Everybody was so sad and crying and all this. And I was like, what's going on? And so he was like just considered, I guess, brain dead because he left him a quadriplegic. And he was just brain dead. And when I went in there to see him, I just looked at him and I just said, it's my fault. It's my fault because I let him go. And I should have went with him. It's my fault. And then he can't dance no more. He used to do backflips, dance like Michael Jackson, and play drums. And I felt like I took that away from him because I let go because I was so selfish and I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And I was so young and I didn't have nobody to talk to. Everybody was focusing on that as they should have been, but nobody knew that all the time. I was feeling so guilty. I felt so guilty. So I
You
quit
didn't do anything.
school and I just started hanging out with the wrong people and I introduced the drugs. And so I just started using drugs, and that was my way out. I didn't have to feel, I didn't have to think. I could just be whatever I wanted to be and not have to feel the pain and the guilt of
Mhm.
what I felt like I had let happen. And so I didn't have no job or nothing to work on. So I started doing what this thing I could to take care of what I needed to do. So I just started
John,
stealing, doing.
you do realize it's circumstantial. You didn't do anything. You didn't actually do anything. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't control nature. Some these things happen. It doesn't mean it's your fault because it's this shoe or that shoe, or maybe you didn't make that call. That's
Yeah.
too much on you. Way too
It's
much.
and that's so when I was doing stuff and going to jail and just it was because of that because I was just out there doing petty stuff, and
Okay.
I was going back and forth to jail 6 months here or 8 months here, what have you, and then finally they stuck me with a lot of time. They said, "Okay, well, you're not going nowhere. This will give me a lot of time," and that gave me time to think. And this was the last time before I was released from prison, and Torrance didn't die. He was a quadriplegic, and so right before I came home, he started getting sick, and he looked like he wasn't going to be with us, that much longer. And I just prayed, God, please just let me get home, so I can at least say goodbye to my brother, at least see him one more time. And I, I didn't get to make it home in time enough. He passed away, and I didn't even get to say bye or nothing to him. So I vowed to myself that I would never put myself in that position again where I could be away from my family or be away. I just didn't want that no more. I didn't want it no more. I didn't want it. So I made a vow to God that I would do what I'm supposed to do. And when I was released, I did just that. I have done just that. I have done everything
But that's what
to
I'm getting at.
become.
You were released. This was a long time ago, but look, you were released. There shouldn't be any trudging up of old stuff anymore.
But now it is now. It is because
They can't.
that's
But
what.
John, you are aware that there's such a thing as double a jeopardy being illegal. They can't try you twice for the same case. Are you aware of that?
But they're using that. Then why is it brought up? Why is it there? That's why I'm saying I don't understand. Why is it there then? Why are this threatening? Why am I facing all this time behind it?
Because you don't have the proper attorney, and this is because for the same reasons that they brought you in claiming the use of facial recognition, which is illegal. They've done a lot of illegal stuff to you. Okay. They've ran roughshod over you. You don't have any representation. I don't care. He says Mike Cook, or whoever this person was, that public defender, whoever it is, should be fired. Okay. And the head of the public defender should be fired. Because what's going on is that the situation for black men in Oakland has not fundamentally changed at all. And your story proves that. And in Alameda County. And you have a DA that's supposed to have changed this, but shows no desire to do so. Okay. So real reform has to come directly from Alameda County and the Oakland Police Department taking a pledge by law, a new law, that they will stop harassing black men, that they will seek, wherever possible, any avenue to release a black person who has not arguably done anything. If it's, you could get into a fight with somebody who assaulted you, but all this started because they called the police on you as opposed to you calling the police on them. This is like a constant lesson in how we as black people need to call the police, but a lot of us are afraid to do so because what happens to folks like us, again, where the police misuse the law against us. So it becomes this catch-22.
Yeah.
But we have to get to a point where, regardless of that, you call the police anyway and have that on record, because the system should be redesigned such that if you're telling them, hey, look, this guy assaulted me, that should be considered a police action against the guy that called the police. They can call him back and say, hey, wait a minute, you assaulted each other. And the reason why I say it like this, I remember there was one incident at Starbucks on Lakeshore. And I was inside and outside. There were these two men that were playing chess, but they started to get into an argument. And the argument looked like it was going to escalate into a fight. Someone called the police. The police showed up. But this officer did not make an arrest. Instead, it was one black, one white, it was a mixed group of men. But instead, what he did was he said, okay, tell me what happened. And the other says, tell me what happened. And then he resolved it. No arrest, no drama. That was it. And that should be by law what this is, if only to stop this overcrowding issue, because now you're getting bounced around and you're part of your number that you don't need to be. And you need to, you're trying hard to be a law-abiding citizen. And arguably in the wrong part of, I would argue, the wrong part of the country now, because this sort of thing shouldn't be happening to you. You deserve a nirvana.
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah,
Because you're there, right?
yeah.
And the area has to change. It has to get rid of that racism. It is an intense institutional racism the Bay Area has that it refuses to get rid of. It doesn't matter who's in charge in terms of color.
Right, right, right.
Got to
Because
change.
there's no reason why why am I going through this? Why?
Yeah,
This
you
is
don't need to.
really this is it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It really is. And it's just unacceptable. Come on. Come on. Come on. When is it going to stop? Enough is enough. I never thought that it would happen to me, but it's happening. It's happening. It's happened to me. It's happening to me. To me.
Yeah, and all
How
this
is that?
in other words, there's no video that you did anything, right?
No. I gave them names and witnesses and phone numbers and told them, call them. They'll tell you what happened. They didn't call them. I went back over to the area because I had to go see my mechanic, and I talked to him. He said, he said, that day after you left, oh boy called the police. I said, oh yeah. I said, that's why I'm over here. I said, because they're actually trying to charge me with a robbery and a that I said I stole his bike. He said, you didn't steal his bike. Everybody know who stole his bike. And he told me, he gave the name. He said, so-and-so stole his bike. I'm like, of course, because the day when it was happening, Cameron, who was in the car with me, told him, he said, why are you so busy worried about him and jumping on him? Your homeboy over there taking your bike. And everybody turned and looked and saw him pick up the bike and ride off laughing. Police, when he called you, you didn't ask nobody that there? All the people standing around? You didn't ask nobody? We wouldn't even be here if you would have. If you would have called the numbers that I gave you and said they could tell you to cooperate, but you didn't want to. That's why you didn't want to. You had the numbers right there, the names and the numbers of all you had to do calling. They could have been nipped in the bud right then. It should have been nipped in the bud when I told you that what really happened. And the investigators said, oh, I believe you. And we're going to take this to the DA, and it's going to be so it leads no other way but to Pamela Price. Because if you took what I told you, investigators, up to her, and she still stacked on some more after that, lady, you ain't got no soul. If they took what I told them up to her, and she then brought up my past after that, after she added on the assault, then added on the other stuff, somebody somewhere got their hand deep in somebody's cookie jar. Because there's no way I should be going through what I'm going through right now. You will not do this to me. You will not do this to me. Something that didn't happen. No robbery happened. No robbery happened. A crime did happen. I was assaulted.
Yep.
What about that?
Right.
Can we do something about that? I called to report it. One day, no officer. 2 day, no officer. Well, so I guess my what happened to me don't matter, huh? I had to call again for somebody to come to take my reports because I wanted to press charges because he spit on me and hit me and still wasn't able to do it because they told me, oh, you should do that with your attorney. You shouldn't do that with us because, anything you say will be held against you in the court of law. So you're not going to take, no, you should do that with your attorney.
Say that
But
again?
Yeah. I called the police because I went down. I have witnesses to that too, to make a police report and to file charges for him spitting on me and assaulting me. They told me, we don't do that here. You have to go home and do it and make the call, what have you. So I came home, made the call. I would like to press charges of an assault. I know his name, everything. Could you please come? First day didn't come.
Was the guy that called the police, was he white?
Mixed Hispanic, because it's Hispanic.
Was he Hispanic white? There's a difference.
Yeah.
In other words, he's the kind of person that you walk down the street, you think he's a white person?
No. No, because he was saying Latin, Latin, whatever. No, he because he didn't really. That's another thing. From the way I gathered, first of all, he was so high that anybody that believed anything he said at that time, you out your mind, because he was that gone to where anybody with common sense would say, well, you know what, let me see what make sure that this dude is telling us the right thing, because he was out of his mind. And then he barely spoke English, but he knew how to cuss and give up the finger and spit and hit. I know that much. But I don't even see how you didn't question nobody being in the condition that, as a matter of fact, where's the cams? Don't they have body cams or something that they're supposed to have on? Where are they? Where are they? If so, you should have clearly seen, Now, if he was roughed up, yes, because I told you why. Because he hit me, he spit on me, and I told you. Duh. But and then now I have a restraint. He has a restraining. I have a restraining order on him. They got him like he's the victim. Like I just got out and just beat him up and stole his little tricycle. Come on, man. I'm facing the rest of my life in prison behind a bike that I can't ride, that I did not take. Are you serious with all this that's going on around here? You want to throw me away behind a bike that I didn't take? Miss Price needs to be ashamed of herself. She should be ashamed of herself. She should be ashamed of herself for even letting this ridiculous stuff go on this far behind a bike. Used that pedals. Got out of my car, beat him up for his bike. That's what they're saying. And then,
which of course didn't happen.
Which of course did not happen. Of course, we know common sense would tell anybody that. And then you label me as a threat to the safety of the public. I work with children. I have a drill team and a drum squad of inner city youth that I've been working with for over 20, going on 25 years now. That I've taken all as far as with my mom all the way to Memphis, Tennessee. I'm an assistant director and head coach at McClinton's High School for the all-girls drill team that the school district trusted me enough to take all the way to Los Angeles for a drill team competition.
Oh, and by the way, in case anybody's wondering, FYI, the DA can go to her prosecutor, say, drop this case, get the judge to approve it. The victim the so-called victim would have no say. Okay, so this is something that could be erased like that.
And that's my whole stance right now, is that I feel like when is it going to stop? She has the power right now with this to do what we voted for her to do. I voted for you. I voted for her.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't vote for you to take my life away from me, to railroad me and frame me for something that I didn't do, for something that didn't even happen.
Right.
But she has a chance right now. She can stop it. Enough is enough. How many more men how many of us gotta go through this? How many more? Just stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's not true. Just stop it. Just stop it. I'm out my mind now. I'm seriously. I can't go walk out the house without thinking somebody's following me. I can't. Cars come up behind me because I'm terrified. I'm spooked the way they swooped up on me. I don't trust nobody no more. If I can't trust the police, the people that's supposed to protect me, who else can I trust?
Well, you can trust Brenda Grisham because she's.
Oh, I know I can trust her. I know I can trust her.
And
I know I can trust her. I can trust her. And she is helping me, giving me the voice that I have now. As I'm getting it because I'm watching her. I watch her, and and I'm just so proud of her, and she's given me the strength to do what I'm doing now because she's been there and had me since the beginning. She was like, "You will be all right," you know. And it's been times when I didn't think so. Man, I can't go back to no prison for the rest of my life. I'm 53 years old with a 25 to life, and you gonna pay me? I'm not gonna make it out. Let's just be honest. Why should I have to done all I did and do all this and come this
You'll make
far
it out. No, you'll make it out.
just to go back?
We'll see to it. You'll make it out. We'll see to it. Okay.
Why is she doing this to me? Why is she doing this to me? I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this, man. But if you want to fight, I'm gonna fight back because you're not gonna take my life away from me. And I know I've not done nothing wrong. You want to fight? You want to fight?
Hey, DeAndre, take a deep breath. Get a hold of yourself. You got a place to sleep. People protecting you. Have faith, okay? Just have faith. You gotta have faith. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. All right, because that's what some people want to see. Don't lose it. I know it's hard, but be in control, okay? Be in control. You know? You know. Just there's this saying, say it and it happens, or think it and it will occur. You know, imagine for yourself the life you want to have. Just dream it and it'll happen. But you got to believe the dream. Okay.
Thank you. I
You
appreciate
have to
that.
get rid of the idea that you constantly did something wrong because, you know, some yahoo that works for a government, you know, who is doing wrong and themselves ought to be in jail says so. No. Don't count on them to judge you. The Lord is the judge. That's it. That's all you need. You have your mother behind you and your family. That's all you need. You have friends. That's tertiary, but it's still all you need. Okay? But don't worry about, and I say this because for all of us who think, you know, I used to think, gee, you know, I'll never get arrested and everything happened. And then, hey, I got a DUI. And and I got a DUI. I was reduced to reckless because I was taking 3 members of women's sports events home who actually were drunk. And so here I am going to Baby Bridge. Yeah, they're working on the bridge, right? And this is the year when they were doing the retrofits and improvements. And I looked over coming off the Bryant entrance, and I thought Godzilla had taken out the bridge. And I went, whoa. And it's like this, right? I'm driving, I went, whoa. And then I turned back, and I was doing maybe 5 miles per hour, ran into the guy, 5 miles per hour. We both got out. You know, there was a dent on mine. It was nothing. He had a tire. So we both said, well, let's call the police, you know, for insurance. So fine. So I call. I don't even recall if they breathalyzed him, but they breathalyzed me 3 times. The first time, nothing happened. Second time, nothing happened. The third time, the deputy partner of the cop, these are SF cops, came over and he pats me on the back like that and says, cough it up. Now you're over. Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he did that. I told the late Jeff Adachi about that. Jeff, rest in peace, who was a public defender and a good one. San Francisco, no serious dude. Okay. And Jeff said on camera, this program, have it expunged because he knows that's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Same for you. Stuff should be expunged. Should be dismissed. Period. Okay. They do. They owe you that. They owe you that. So you have to believe that future, you know, because it is there to be believed in.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't see that future. And Pamela Price should be leading the charge to defend you, you know, considering that, you know, she's staring at a November court date, if you will, herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. But don't get down on yourself and don't let your past be your guide. I mean, what happened to you way back, all right?
Yeah.
Don't let it define you. You're alive. You have a future at 53, which is young. Okay. And you know, on a day, a normal day when you're clean shaven and everything, you probably look like you're 27. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, nothing against, I'm not saying there's anything against beards, but yeah, but you know, it's hang your head high.
Okay. I will. I will.
Get your health.
Yeah.
Which is that's the first start. You're healthy. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah. Yes. I will see
you in a better place. You are in a better place already.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You got it. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to call this one. You don't have to do anything, folks. Share this video around, please, and help Mr. Long. And if you're an attorney out there, like a John Burris type, for example, I'm going to call you out Daryl Strawberry, although you owe me a show, Mr. Strawberry. Help this man out. All right. DeAndre, you have to push a button. That ends the stream, folks.
All right.
You don't have to press any button. DeAndre, don't go. Don't go. Don't go.